Hey, what's up, guys? It's the People's Mentors Podcast, episode 002. And the word of the week is save, S-A-V-E. So welcome again, guys, to the People's Mentor Podcast, where we mentor the people, as well as provide motivation and the mindset on real estate entrepreneurship, episode 002. So let's get into it. All right. So the word of the week is save. It stands for, it's an acronym as always, right? It stands for set aside valuable exchange. Valuable exchange. What do you mean? Well, let's get into the quote. Now, this quote is from the Bible. We got an image of it right here, right? The Bible, right? And it's verse 21, Proverbs 21, verse 20. Precious treasure and oil are in a wise man's dwelling, but a foolish man devours it. A foolish man devours it. So that gets us back into the word of the week. Set aside valuable exchange. Well, what's a great medium of exchange? Money. So set that thing aside. What else is a great medium of exchange? Time. So set that aside, meaning you want to have stores of money as well as time available, because these are the two most valuable resources we have on this planet, time and money. One thing is replaceable, the other is not. Money is always replaceable. You can lose it, you can win it back, but time is irreplaceable. Okay, so let's get into my thoughts in regard to this, right? And my thoughts about this is this: as a business owner, you should always think about getting lean. Always think about, how can I do more with less? So that way, if I'm able to do more with less, then I'm able to save, right? Because I don't need as much resources to perform this specific task. So thus, I would like you to get into the habit, right? I want you to get in the habit of saving now on a smaller scale in regard to your living expenses starting out first. Because that's one of the things I did, right? I truly aspired to be a real estate investor. And for some odd reason, I just could not come up with the resources, the money to go towards a down payment on the house. I couldn't, because I was living above my means. Right? Above my means, meaning I was actually using debt to afford my personal living expenses. And then I realized, wow, I just wasn't lean. I wasn't lean. I wasn't efficient with my personal living expenses. So if I'm like that with my personal living expenses, more than likely I'll be the same way with my business. I'll be the same way with real estate investing. So I had to use myself as a guinea pig and say, all right, Juan, this is what you got to do. Write down all of your living expenses. Just jot it down. Everything from toothpaste to toilet paper to paying taxes to traveling to tennis lessons. Well, I don't really play tennis, but I was trying to keep that alliteration going on with the T's, you know. But anything you spend money on, right? Jot it all down with the dollar amount associated with it, and really reflect and consider and say to yourself, do I really need this expense? Do I really need this premium account, or can I get by with a basic account? Sure, they may play ads, but that's cool, right? Right? You can throw a party and have some ads going on in the background of that music. The radio does it all the time, right? Or do I really need this vehicle? Can I downgrade, or can I catch the bus more? You might be thinking, no, I'm not willing to compromise my standard of living. Well, if you're not willing to compromise your standard of living now and you're over leveraged, then how do you expect to get involved in real estate investing if you have no money set aside to do so? Right? It's just a short-term sacrifice. That's all it is. It's temporary. But I want you to get in the habit now on a smaller scale and keep your personal living expenses to a minimum so you can truly save. Well, how much should I save, Juan? Of course, it's all relative, right? But I highly recommend starting out, save at least about $500 a month if possible. Of course, you might be making $50,000 a year or $100,000 a year, so it differs for each person. But bare minimum, aim to save at least $500 a month, right? I just want you to get in the habit of it. So we talk a lot about this at 100% Finance, right? About using leverage, using other people's money, 100% financing a deal. So you might be thinking, well, why are you talking about saving it if you're going to finance it anyway? I want you to get into the mindset and the habit of accounting for every penny that you spend. Because at the end of the day, that's what business is all about. You want to make sure you have more money coming in than you have going out. That's called a profit. So you're unable to make a profit if you have a lot of money coming in, but you have a lot of money going out. That's the quickest way to go broke, in any business, in any entrepreneurship endeavor, right? So I want you to get in the habit of saving. Set aside valuable exchange. So I know we talked about money a lot, but let's talk about time, since that's the most valuable resource. So what do you mean set aside time? Well, how do you expect to get started in real estate investing, in business, or what have you, if you're not putting in the work? Right? Malcolm Gladwell said that in one of his books, I think it was Outliers. He said a person who's at genius level, because geniuses are highly rewarded in the marketplace. He said a person who's at a genius level, the person that's highly paid in the marketplace, they spend at least 10,000 hours on their craft. You got to invest the time. So if you're squandering your time, let's say you have a 9 to 5, right? Or let's say you might be a person with other commitments. You might be involved in charity, involved in recreational activities. I mean, we're human, right? We're multifaceted. We got other things going on besides work, right? But you're spending your spare time having fun and leisure. You're engaging in leisure-like activities. If you're always doing that with your time, watching Netflix all day long, binge watching, I know power is good, right? I get it, right? Or the game is on. It's playoff time. I got it. Right? It's your prerogative what you do with your time, friend. However, you'll be foolish to believe that you'll become a successful real estate investor or business person if you're engaging your time in leisure-like activity. Again, what does Proverbs say? Precious treasure, let's say time, is highly valuable. Or in a wise man's dwelling, but a fool devours. They squander their time. Right? So I definitely want you to set aside that valuable exchange time. I'll say at least 12 hours a week. If you can carve out 12 hours a week and devote it towards real estate investing activities or business activities such as networking, reading books, looking at properties, reaching out to a mortgage lender to see if you qualify for financing, or even reaching out to someone for credit repair if you realize that your credit is in dire straits. So you need to take that first step before you become a full-time real estate investor. But you want to section off, set aside that time, and treat it like I did, right? Like a part-time job. I would clock in and clock out for myself. Period. I'll put in the hours. And guess what? It paid off. All right, so the book of the week, the reason why I brought Proverbs as the book quote is because that's one of the books I read early on. It's called The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. Richest Man Who Ever Lived. So if you want the information of the book, you'll see it in the description, comments, or whatever the platform is for podcasts. I don't know. But whatever it is, you'll be able to see who's the author and where to get it and so forth. But he mentioned that there's typically 30, 31 days in a month. Some months, 28 days, of course. Or 1 month is 28 days. But he basically says there's 31 chapters in Proverbs. So each day of the month, you read that chapter in Proverbs. So if today's the 8th, you read Proverbs 8. And when you're reading it, you're taking notes, but you're also seeing how can this relate to me from a personal standpoint as well as a business standpoint. And so that particular scripture stuck out to me that, oh, you know what? I need to really treasure things that are valuable, how I spend my money and how I spend my time, and not be a fool. A fool is a person who lacks knowledge and just devour and squander it. Things, using their money to buy liabilities, things that don't produce value, and using their time to engage in leisure-like activities that don't produce long-lasting value in the future. All right. So that pretty much wraps up today's episode, guys. Always earn passively, live passionately, and don't be a fool. Save your money so that you can get started in real estate. And if you're interested in learning how you can get started in real estate or you need some assistance, just check out our website, 100%finance.com. We have a phenomenal program. It's called the Multi-Unit Acquisition Program, which is a done-for-you, full-service, turnkey real estate investment strategy to help you get passive income. All right, guys, we're out. Peace.